4, time to talk about our School of the Week. We've got Les Stewart with us in the studio now. Les joins us every Tuesday, and we always talk through various matters, but we always name a School of the Week as well. Who are we going to be talking about this week, Les?
Well, this week, Mick, it is St Margaret's Church of England Academy, which is in Egbert. I was kindly invited by the school a couple of weeks ago to go down and be there at the opening of the new facilities they've had built there, and very impressive they are. And it was well drilled, well run, good communication by the people involved. It was a lovely couple of hours I spent down there. And since then, I've had a communication from Greg McLean, who's the Careers and Post-16 Data Manager. He's a former student of the school, and he's about to come on with his colleague Chris Cooke, who's Assistant Director of Sixth Form, he oversees the transition from Post-16 to university, so he looks after the UCAS application and so forth. So, first of all, Greg, are you there?
I am. How are you, lads?
How are you? Good to talk to you.
Hiya, Greg.
Hi, Mick. You okay?
While I was down there, I heard about what is as a newly launched program you've got going there, the Work Inspiration Program. Could you let us know, what's that about?
Yeah. So basically, we were looking at sort of enriching our Year 10's curriculum, really, and our headmaster Stephen Briley sort of come up with the idea of potentially launching this Work Inspiration Program. So students have been undertaking sort of preparation for the world of work over the first sort of 10-12 weeks of the half term, and then in the new year they'll be heading off on placements to local companies who have been involved, and they're looking at getting some experience in the world of work, really. So it'll be a great opportunity for them, really.
What sort of experiences do you think that they're going to be having, Greg? Meaningful ones, hopefully?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, it's the world of work's obviously changing every day, and obviously it'll give them a chance to sort of sample out the real world, if you like, because obviously in school you're obviously just every day's the same, really. So it'll be a good chance for them to get an opportunity to see what the real world's like.
And sorry, go on, Les.
Basically, Greg, how easy do you find it to get work placements?
It is difficult.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a newly launched program which is going to be on a Thursday afternoon, so students will be going out every Thursday for about 19 weeks.
Right.
So obviously companies, it's a new program for companies to get involved in. Usually the work placements are sort of 1 week or 2 week blocks. But companies have been enthusiastic about it and willing to get involved, and we're obviously very appreciative of that. And hopefully, in the long term, this will be a program that will go on for years to come.
Right.
And speaking of work, some kids might fancy returning to their school in the future and going in as a teacher. You've got the Futures programme being set up. How does this one work?
Yes, the Futures programme. There was a programme a few years ago that we ran as a school. We're looking at sort of revising it and relaunching it, if you like. And obviously, we've got a former colleague of mine, John Fawkes, who's the former director of Sixth Form. He's going to be working alongside me with this, as well as Chris, who's alongside me now. And the idea is to sort of give them a chance to go into local primary schools and work alongside the teachers there, sort of give them a taste of the teaching profession. And alongside that, hopefully that will be validated as well by Chester University, which will be ideal as well. And that'll obviously look really good on their UCAS applications, which obviously Chris works on with the students in the Sixth Form.
Yeah, over to Chris. Are you there, Chris?
Hi lads, how are we doing? You okay?
All right, okay. Thanks for coming on, Chris. You're Assistant Director of Sixth Form, and you oversee the transition, don't you, from Post-16 to university, so you do the UCAS. During the course of my career, at one stage, I was head of Sixth Form of a school, and I know it is working with the Sixth Form. It's a very hard job. I would describe it personally as possibly the hardest job in a school, to be honest. You've got a newly launched World of Work Careers Talk programme. How's that work? How does that differ from the one that Greg's talking about?
Yeah, well, we basically it's going from working with Greg. It's going from years 10, 11 to 12, 13. So we're finding that students want more information earlier about different careers paths. In the past, you used to get students that sort of used to apply sort of year 12, year 13. It was probably a little bit too late by then to make informed decisions.
Yeah.
So any students between sort of year 10 and year 12, we've been inviting to careers talks on a Tuesday evening for an hour. Basically, we're getting experts in a variety of different industries to come and talk to the students about the merits of each individual industry, but also the pitfalls as well. It's not all, giving them informed information for them to make the right choices. This half term, for example, we've talked about apprenticeships and traineeships, medical careers, primary and secondary teaching, the armed forces and law. I'm going to extend this after in January. But basically, yeah, getting the students who might have an interest, first of all, probably about 25, 30 students have been attending every Tuesday. Getting industry experts to come and chat to them, tell them what their career is all about, what it would entail. Also, probably more importantly, what they can do now to sort of enhance their CVs and applications. And following on from that, once they're given the information, we would put on events within school to sort of enhance their applications. We've got a newly launched medical ethics group with our excellent head of science. We've got, if they're interested in journaling, for example, we've got a school magazine that they basically can write in. We've got a debating group if they're interested in law and other careers. We've got a mentoring group for people who want to be teachers. So basically giving them the information first of all, but then giving them activities that will enhance their CVs so they can progress further.
And Chris, you're also in charge of the UCAS application process, which is, for any student will know, it's an incredibly tedious process which involves you having to say things about yourself which make you look particularly good, which might not necessarily be true, but might make you stand out from various universities. Has the process changed at all? It used to be, I'm a very conscientious young man and I want to work hard to achieve my goal of being blank, and I work well as an individual but also as part of a team, and all those sorts of things. Do the same old tricks still work?
It is sort of, I think it's probably like anything really, it's getting more competitive. So, applying for jobs, there's probably more people after the same job. Probably the same for university applications. Yeah, you do a reference, but they're probably looking for more information as possible. They're probably looking for, more evidence of work experience. They're looking for more interest in the particular subject. So it's the same, but probably universities are looking for more things specific to the subject that they're applying for. So, for example, if you want to be a medic student, for example, they're looking for 2 and 3 different diverse things that they'd be looking for, but they'd also be looking for sort of leadership examples outside of the classroom, which we try and give them as many opportunities as possible.
And how many of your students will be looking to go to the sort of the top universities in the country, and sort of how do you help them with those sort of processes of? I think one of the key questions you always ask you at Oxford and Cambridge is what books are you reading at the moment? We probably get 35 to 40 students that would apply to red brick universities. We have a number of students every year that apply to Oxbridge and medical applications. It would depend on which particular career, which particular subject they're interested in, but also which institution. We have annual trips to Oxford and Cambridge every year, so kids can sample sort of the top universities as to what they're looking for. Medical students, we would have visits to local hospitals, but also arrange work experiences for those particular students as well. So it would depend on the individuals what they're applying for, but also which institutions. Again, just to give them the best opportunities to get into those universities. We do have. The application does matter. This year we've got 4 or 5 students that have got unconditional offers for university based on their application. So they've already got into their university. Easy. Don't have to try now, but don't tell them that.
Do you know what, Chris? I mean, of late, careers education in schools has been given a bit of a pounding by various people,
including Les.
No, never me. I was actually, again, at some point in my career, I was a head of careers, and again, I know how difficult that is. So you guys seem to be doing a pretty good job down at St Margaret's, and I'm guessing, Chris, that you do differentiate between, not a standard. You've got your standard CV, but the letter of application, if you're going for an apprenticeship or a job, must be tailored to the specific thing you're applying for. It's not just a blanket letter that goes out to everybody.
It's not. So we encourage students to a bespoke education. When coming to the sixth form, they've got to decide for themselves what they want to do, and that the best applications are sent off come from the students. We just point them in the right direction. If we did everything for them, it would be very monotonous and it wouldn't get past first base. We give students sort of the tools to sort of apply for themselves, give them opportunities, but it's got to come from them. We just provide them with the tools, but I think it's all about engaging them from early on. So as soon as you engage them and get them hooked, they've got something to work with, and it's doing that if we can do that as early as possible, then, you know, the students have got a goal and they'll work harder, both inside and outside of the classroom.
Good stuff. Greg, Chris, thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being our School of the Week this week. Greg McLean, Chris Cooke from St Margaret's C of E Academy in Egbert. And if you want to nominate your school for School of the Week, drop us an email, mick@radiocity.co.uk. Just be warned, you might get a visit from Les Stewart. Les, thank you for your time today.
Remember the team, Becky.